Hello, this is Sean from Bear Valley's IT department. This is just a quick run through on openproject, which is the project management software we use for tracking our work packages. Currently, it's hosted at a server cluster that I have down in Vallecito. It's at booksandmore.com, so it's openproject.booksandmore.com. BOOKSN as in Nancy, MORE.com. You can also just look at the screen here and it'll give you that information. I'll probably include that as well as your login information in a video. After pulling it up, the first thing you'll have to do is sign into it here. So I'm going to put I have my sign in all cached away. So I'm going to do a sign in. My user is an administrator, so I can actually make other projects if I want to. But the long and the short of it is we have the Bear Valley IT project in here. We can split it up into smaller projects or other company projects if we wanted to, like lift operations. I created one, it's just an example. But for right now, we'll just use this one. The overview gives you on-track information basically as to whether or not you've met deadlines on your projects. We don't typically assign deadlines to projects. We use this more as a sort of just a to-do list with who is been assigned to do the work, who's responsible for it in the end, and that sort of stuff. It's just nice if we've got a list of stuff to do. If either I or Leonard are not around, or even Justin, we can always pull this up and look at what needs to be done and work on all the various different things that we put in here. We try and put everything in here. Sometimes we get busy and we have to put it in like after we've actually completed it. But for the most part, we can pull this up on our phone. So if we're working on something that's going to take a little while, or it's something that we have to back burner, we'll pull it up and create a task for it. The tasks in here are referred to as work packages. So these are our work packages. Some of these I need to actually check off. Some of them are long-term projects, like summertime projects here. I'll be adding stuff to that over the next couple of days and over the next week because we're getting ready to actually, in April or so, I think we're going to be closed. So after that, there's a whole bunch of work that we could do that we can't do while we're open. Network reconfiguration and those sorts of things. So here's a couple in here that we need to check off. Nice thing about this is if we go in and we actually put some comments in here on these things, like this was a blown breaker that is located in the kitchen. It is now labeled appropriately, so we can find it later. And it wasn't a blown breaker, it was a tripped breaker. Also, something else that's nice to know is what caused it, which in this particular case, it was the power supply on the PC that tripped it. So we put that sort of information in there. Later on, we can actually do a search through here and find any tickets that were related to that. So as an example, if I do a search for tripped, it might take a little while to get in there. Let's see. Nope, there it is right there. So a lot of times if we've got something that's going on, we can't figure out what it is, we can just do a quick search through here and see if we've ever had problems with that in the past. So it's a institutional knowledge base, if you will, of information that could be very, very helpful when we're confused about something. Next thing, we're going to go ahead and mark this off. So let's just go back to our work page. We'll pull it up. It's down here at the bottom. Where was it? Fixed power at guest services. So that's actually not new anymore. It is closed. So right now we're looking at a list of open, projects that are basically in an open state. We're working on them. AT&T debacle, work at deployment of XD cameras. We can actually go in here and make comments. These cameras are workable but cheap and can't be put outside. This sort of stuff. This is just the sort of stuff that we track because it may be helpful later on. Also, it lets everybody know, what it is that we're doing at this time. So if they need us to do something, they can look at this and say, well, they're kind of busy with this. Another nice thing about this is we can actually set things for in progress. So if you're curious about where a project is going and you pull this up, we got comments in here to explain where we're at on it, and we also have a status of in progress, which means we're working on it. It's just one of those things that might take us a little while. It's pretty simple. As these things get created, as there's comments that are added, they get emailed out to anybody that's in the followers list, which I set all the managers up so it just does any comments that we make. It gets sent to them in an email a couple times a day. Doesn't do it right away. You don't get badgered with it all day long. It batches them up in groups and then sends them out all at one time, so you get them as one email. I believe that seems like that's the way that it functions anyway. Other cool features of this, we can do. It's really nice when we can actually include files in here. So, for instance, if we go and look at my pictures here, and let's see, we'll just pull up photos, and here's something right here. We can take this, copy this, and then if we create a new task in here, we will create task. We lost the remote, TV remote, which we actually did. I found it, and this is a picture of it, so we'll know what it looks like. You can put more details in here, but we don't really need to do that. We got assignee. This is who it is that's going to be assigned for this particular task. And then we got accountable. This is a person that is ultimately responsible for this task. So I'm just going to set them both to me, but I could set one to Leonard. Actually, let's just do that. Make him look for the TV remote. You can put in estimated times and things like that. Like I say, we don't typically put in dates as far as I've just found that hard deadline dates tend to make employees really nervous. And on top of that, a lot of the stuff we do is related to whether or not we have supplies for it, that sort of thing. We try and comment on all that when we have something like that come up. But, for the most part, a lot of times putting deadlines in just means you got to have another meeting to talk about deadlines and figure out when you could possibly do it. It's just a lot of wasted time, I've found personally. There are definitely things that we put in hard deadlines on, things that need to be done before opening day, that sort of stuff. But for the most part, we just use this as a list of stuff that needs to be done, time permitting and workload permitting. We can also do costs and cost analysis and all that sort of thing. I believe I can just paste into here. Let's see here. I've done this before. Let's see. Actually, probably the easier way of doing it. We'll go ahead and save this. So we've created this task, and we can go over here in comments and then just paste in a photograph. So kind of nice. I mean, we can add all kinds of pertinent information into the ticket, like certain dishes that need to be repaired or wires that need to be fixed or anything like that. We can literally take a picture of it and post it right in here, right directly from our phone or from our photos gallery or whatever. This has proven to be very, very helpful, especially with locating devices that we need to do work on. We can literally take a picture of it so people know what it is that they're looking for when they go to work on it. I'll go ahead and save that. So basically the ticket's been created. I'm just going to close this because it's just a mock ticket. But you can add files. You can create documents if there's additional documentation that is related to this ticket, and you can literally upload it here, attach it. Um, whatever would be helpful for solving the ticket can be put right into the comments over here. The relations thing, you can actually create relations between projects. So, for instance, I have the summertime projects, and I'm going to have a whole list of stuff that I'm going to add in there, and basically in a checkoff format, which is kind of cool. But a lot of times we'll just keep those right within one particular. They'll just be a checklist of things that you have to do for a particular task. So for in here, if we wanted to add another comment, you could go down here and just put in a checkbox and say, look for remote, find remote, use remote. And once we're done with that, we can go ahead and save it. It's committed here. And then if we have a task where we're going to go through and check things off, we can literally go in here and edit it and go in and say we looked for remote, we found the remote, and we used the remote. So, we don't really do that very often, but here you can see they're all checked off. So you can build checklists and things like that for each task. Pretty handy. We're going to just go ahead and close this. So go right over here to new and close, and then it's closed. Now right now, if we go into the work packages, what we're looking at is all the open ones. There is, however, a filter up here. We can go in here and we can say, show us all the closed tickets that you got. And then we can add even additional filters after that, like if we wanted to search for a particular thing like remote. Oh, add filter. Let's see. Oh, well, it looks like we can just pick from who it is. I don't use this very often, so this aspect of it is not very, it's kind of familiar to me. Anyway, we can narrow down what it is that we're filtering for if we want to look for something. These are all closed tickets right now, of course. So we've got a few of them in here. We started using this for just big projects back last summer when Leonard first came on. I wanted to be able to have a list for him of stuff that he could work on if we weren't together. I could just say, hey, pull up a task list and see what's available. So we got closed in here, and we could do a search for remote. And this should be able to find us everything that has to do with remote. We lost the TV, install remote access. So it's really nice for looking through old tickets, just trying to figure out what's been done, what hasn't been done. If we need information on a piece of equipment and we've worked on it before, we can pull it up in here. So very handy for that sort of stuff. It saves things as you move along. You don't have to do like a file save or anything like that. It's just every time you add anything or remove anything, it just automatically saves it. We'll go back to work packages. We can create child tasks underneath these. So in summertime projects, if we go into here, we could go over and say relations, new child, work on wire at pump house at Bear Lake. So we can do that. We can put details in on that. So basically it's going to create another task that will be dependent on the first task. So it's kind of nice because you can set things up where this is the main task, this is what we're going to be working on in the summer, and then each one of these will be listed underneath it. So you can pull up one task and have all your individual ones in there. You're not continually editing this one task and just adding a bunch of comments. You can make comments specifically for each individual subtask or child task. Go over here. I think we're going to make this mine. But in the end, I'm pretty sure Leonard is going to be working on this. Let's see here. Oh, this is who? This is the creator. So assignee is going to be Leonard. And accountable will be me. And we have a nice little record of when things were updated as we worked on things. Um, yeah, I mean, in the end, it's very, very handy. Helps us keep track of what it is needs to be done, who's accountable for it, and then again, institutional knowledge as far as how we solve problems, and that information could very well be helpful for us in the future, especially when we're like coming up on a month. Like there's a lot of routine stuff that happens at the end of the season. We can pull this up and say, hey, what were we doing last year at this time? Oh yeah, we got to do this, we got to do that. Just keeping track of remedial tasks and just any tasks that pop up where we might need to buy equipment for it or something like that. At least then the people that are asking us to do those tasks, they get some sort of follow up on when it's going to happen, and it helps us avoid we're having to go to a lot of meetings, having to like call people and follow up with them. It just automatically follows up with them as we're working on it. Hope this has been helpful. This is something that, again, I say we're hosting it at a server rack that I have access to, but eventually it'll be hosted at our Murphy's office, and we'll be able to access it from anywhere in the world. Probably not by a domain name, but by an actual IP address. But we're still getting all the equipment moved into there, so for now it runs here. This is a virtualized system. It's basically just one big file that acts as a server. So we can just transfer it to another box, and it's good. It's up and going. So I hope this is helpful. We use a lot of open source software. This software doesn't cost us anything, and the licensing for it doesn't cost us anything. It's open source software. There's a lot of companies that are out there that are maintaining it. They personally use it, so they have vested interest in keeping it up and operational. I've never had any problems with it, with upgrades or anything like that. And again, it doesn't cost us anything other than time to install it on a server. Thank you much. If you have any questions, just give me a call. Other than that, I'm going to send this off to you with some login credentials, and if it works for you, or if you'd like another project created or a project created for another location, just go ahead and let me know, and we can do that for you from remote, from anywhere in the world. Talk to you later.